let's see here. We got Rhapsody here, of course. Good to see you, Rhapsody. Good to see you, really smart. I troll for you. Getters. It's always good to see you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And of course, Legal Beagle as well. And this is definitely one of those things where I'm going to be playing a little bit of catch up today. I am recovering, or I'm now fully recovered from COVID. Thank you so much for Rhapsody for filling in for me last week. I will be uploading her episode as well as the last stream before that this weekend. So we'll get that all up on YouTube for you guys very soon. And you can see, definitely, we should probably do a whole little class on making emotes like what Rhapsody's doing here, where you could just quickly do little, like that. They're so cute. I love the little generated emotes and stuff, and I do think that that's kind of the direction that a lot of this stuff will go when it comes to particularly character referencing. Like, oh, I'm going to make a joke for my friends in a Discord chat or something like that, and I can just quickly gen up a new emote, you know? I mean, it's just an image, you know, you could just put a PNG image with no background and save it. There's actually a way that you can do that inside of your GIFs, right? So if you hit the GIF button here, you have a favorites already, right? So you just use your favorites and don't even worry about using any of the official Discord stuff. Just save whatever image is one of your favorites, particularly GIFs. But it's good to see everybody. We're gonna just give a couple more minutes for people to roll in here. Oh yeah, GIFs don't work in that channel. Oof. Ooh, yeah. Well, that definitely blows. But I believe they'll work inside of VC Create. At least we can use them for generating images, so that's good. But let's see here. Okay, so one of the things I realized when I was on my break, because I'm just kind of observing my Discord channel and seeing what you guys are doing and whatnot. One of the things I realized is that I really just need to get back to basics. I really just need to start off with a character for you guys that is, you know, a complete blank slate. We had one or two people come in to the server asking about, you know, I've watched a couple of Victor's videos and I still don't get it. Like I don't get the character referencing, or I don't get the character sheets, like what the value of having a character sheet is. So I think we're going to just go through the creation of a completely original character sheet today, just to kind of get me going on a good foot when it comes to this stuff, as opposed to like deep diving into some new experimental thing or whatever. I'm going to basically just create a character for you guys today, and we'll just kind of roll with it and see what happens. The one thing we can do is take advantage of like established styles that we've been working on. And one of the ones that I'm going to use today is one that has been dubbed Gnomed, and it's just because it gives us a really clean line art. We've been creating characters for my server for this fantasy series that we've had, and we're going to keep working on. But we're actually going to use one of those characters as a style reference inside of VC Text. And for anyone that's new here, you'll see that there is a VC Text and a VC Create just above the stage here. So if I scroll and look on the left side of Discord here, we're chatting right now here on the stage. But just above that is VC Text and VC Create. Inside of VC Text is where you can chat with us, and you can see your username and whatnot pop up on YouTube and stuff. But if you guys wow, I can't talk today. If you guys have any questions or anything at all, feel free to use VC Text to ask it, and we'll get it addressed here on stream. But what's way more exciting is what's in VC Create, because you guys will be able to prompt with us, and we can basically collaborate in real time using using Midjourney here. So we're basically going to figure out how to create a custom character inside of VC Create, starting with something that, you know, is relatively simple, but we're basically just going to be picking one image of a character we really like. Usually most people end up kind of going, man, I really like this character, but it's not consistent when I use it either as a reference, or maybe I don't even know what character referencing is. And I just want to tell a story with this character. So we're first going to generate one image that we like of that, and then kind of move on from there. And you can see I Troll For You already is having some fun with the gnomed style reference, which is just our character gnome. So let me just show you who that is first, and then we'll create a character derived off of that one. Some people are already kind of having their fun with it, but what we're going to do is we're going to use --cref in order just to show you this character. I'll paste the links for the character right now, just because we're gonna focus on generating a character from scratch here. So I'm just gonna paste this so you guys can see. Oops, I forgot to actually put a prompt in there. Let me copy this over really quick. You need something actually in the prompt. It can't just be parameters. So I'll just say hello, and have it generate a, it's probably going to be gnome waving at camera or something, maybe with a speech bubble that says hello. And gnome is based off of my friend Fran's OC. And the fun thing about gnome is that I plan on using her quite a lot leading up to the fantasy series that we're releasing, but we also are going to be doing a lot of like small independent web comics and stuff with her. So I wanted to first show you guys what the character looks like, and you can see how each one of these images has kind of a unique style to itself. It has its own color palette, so on and so forth. What we're going to be doing today is actually using these images of gnome to just give us a completely original character, and that's done just by swapping a single character from this prompt. So what we're gonna do is just hit reroll here, and we have remix mode on, which you'll notice every time I'm hitting reroll that I get this new window that comes up that lets me edit the prompt. This is called remix mode, and you turn it on by going to /settings, hit enter here. And you'll see remix mode right here. And with that on, it basically means whenever you own a prompt, you can basically re-roll or do variations and be able to edit the prompt in real time. And Legal Beagle liked this one. I wonder why. This is a fun one. But that's gnome. So what we can do at this point is we can actually copy her entire kind of prompt here, and we have a couple of different codes that we've like added on to make it even more diverse, right? And I'm not really going to get into those. I'm just going to let you guys dig into a couple different like potential like character tropes, right? So let's say like a villain or a hero or anything like that. So I'm going to go with a cyberpunk villain. Okay. And we're going to switch this from cref to sref. So it's going to be, instead of a character reference, it's going to be a style reference. So it'll match the style of gnome here. And then I'm going to add 2 parameters to the end here. One of them is stylize, and it's going to be 850. That will just get us a very kind of pretty premium looking image. And then the, let's see here. And then I am going to add a single negative prompt that is -- no. So this is going to try to avoid things inside of our prompt. And that is going to be green, the color green. I believe it was Legal Beagle who first established this, just because gnome she wears a green tunic. So the results, you start to see patterns, and negative prompts allow you to kind of avoid unwanted patterns by just establishing things you do not want to see. So we are going to use -no and then green. So combining all these things together, we should be able to get a clean line art version of a cyberpunk villain done in with the anime dataset, which is the -Niji6. And we can basically see what we get out of that. And if you look here, I mean that looks like a cyberpunk villain to me. You could basically pick your favorites out of this. But personally, I like, like if Beagle picked the right one, in my opinion, the one with the kind of shark teeth and all that stuff. The skulls on the shoulder might give us a little bit of perspective issue because they are a little odd. Like they're odd how it goes like little skull and then big skull on the side there. So I'm going to quickly, just because I already know that might give us 1 or 2 issues, I'm going to use inpainting here to just kind of select the shoulder here and give us something a little bit simpler on that shoulder. And we can see here that we have, you just put a negative prompt. We have the negative prompt for green, but then he prompted only for green. So like, yes, we get some fun results by asking for contradictory stuff like that. Nixie 13 is going to run a mystical druid with the gnome code here. And let's see what we get for our shoulder here. I didn't change the prompt at all. I just told it, hey, give me something else here. And yes, Agent Chaos ran his character with a character weight of 35. So it basically, there's a lot of flexibility on the character's design. But ran it with the gnome code as the style reference, and that looks so cool. Definitely about to reveal an evil motive, a monologue maybe. Really Smart did it as a character reference, so there is a style reference attached to this. I won't check it just yet, but you can see just how powerful character referencing is. It will ignore 95% of your prompt. It will ignore a massive amount of your prompt just by running the character reference. So I highly recommend that if you do run a character reference at all, you drop that weight significantly. Like how Ancient did, he dropped it to 35 when the default is 100. When it's left at 100 like this, it's amazing how little the words in the style reference, well, the style reference does a little more, but it's amazing how little the words do after you turn that on. All right, so we have the character here. I think that, the skulls are definitely going to be a little wonky, but I think that the 4th one's probably the best out of these 4. We really should feel committed to whatever's the first 4 that Midjourney gives us. We want to make sure that we allow for plenty of options for us, but I think for the sake of efficiency, we'll be good with this. I like the mustache. It's always funny that some of the gnome stuff comes up with these cartoonish villain mustaches. Let's see. Rhapsody did an elf infused with the power of magma and lava, half rock, half orc. Ooh. Oh, that 4th one's like basically dead on from your prompt. That's really good. That's pretty fun. I like that. Tieflings, by the way, come out great with this. Like, where especially if you want that more devilish look, right? Tieflings are fun for that. I like it. Let's see. Cyberpunk Druid again from Ancient Chaos here. This one's just run kind of straight, so we can kind of see what we get out of that, and that's pretty cool. I like it. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I like the pirate shoulder more. Let's do the pirate shoulder one. I think that's fun. Adorably googly-eyed fuzzy monster. This is from Gallifrey. Oh, look at that. One of the things that is that really benefits from running the GNOME code is you just get the clean art. The clean line art means that it's very obvious what your character is. There's nothing hidden in shadow, and sometimes you want that look. Sometimes you want that sort of noir effect, right? But a lot of times adding excess darkness to your characters creates a lot of potentiality, a lot of like chaos and randomness that can happen, especially when you talk about like the folds of fabric and all sorts of like dark crevices in a character. The more complexity you have in that regard, the more liberty you're giving Midjourney on the design. So let's take this cyberpunk villain that we made here, and let's just first we'll zoom out on him, and we'll be able to kind of flesh out what we want this character to look. We already wrote cyberpunk villain in there. We really don't need to describe anything else unless we have something specific in mind. Like, for example, maybe at this point we can establish what his like weapon is, right? Like, what is his tool of destruction, right? It kind of like he has the death on the side there. Let's do something fun. Let's do a custom zoom, and I'm going to say cyberpunk villain holding a cyber scythe. We're just gonna go hard on the word cyber, okay? We're definitely gonna be as cringy as we can when it comes to the kind of wording terminology we're going for here. So cyber scythe. Let's see here. Cyberpunk anti-hero. Nice. It made it much more like zombie-like. The top right's kind of like Snake Plissken a little bit, but the rest are relatively like cyber zombies. Let's see here. We have a dark-skinned knight in white and orange armor. Ooh, we got a protagonist here from Reveille. Okay. At least I consider this a protagonist. The bottom right, I think, actually is the most interesting to me, but the top right's also pretty cool. Anytime you have like a cool undercolor cape, it gives a really cool silhouette that Midjourney can take advantage of. While, say, like the one on the top left here, it runs into the amateur artist mode that Midjourney is currently kind of stuck at when it comes to a lot of character art. Too many belts, too many weird details that when it comes to, you really only want one belt. You really only want one cape when it seems like there's 4 capes layered on top. That kind of stuff is I think it's taken almost entirely from DeviantArt. Let's see here. Ooh, I like these. What is this? The heroes then from Really Smart. I do like it. It's a little. I think only the top right one feels like a cyberpunk hero, particularly from the anime. Let's see here. Cool. There's that golem. I like him. Okay. Let's see here. Cyberpunk villain with fangs and evil eyes. Ooh. But yet you can see what it's doing here when it comes to the one, it's establishing a clean white background. All the images inside of the GNOME code are different hand-drawn iterations of GNOME, and you'll notice that, oops, that's all Rhapsody. Hold on a second. Boop, beep, boop. All right. Okay, so the GNOME code is largely built off of hand-drawn derivatives of generated character sheets, so we know that Midjourney understands these forms and stuff. But the line art has been heavily cleaned up, has been basically repurposed into something that is much more, doesn't really look generated at all. And that's all thanks to the fact that we don't allow much of the blurring that happens, the gradients that happen between colors, particularly similar looking colors. By avoiding as many gradients as we can, we create this clean line art. And I ended up adding some shading, just to give it some form of depth, to make it understand what was fabric and what wasn't, what was hair and what wasn't. That's all because of the shadows. Midjourney's incredibly smart at figuring that kind of stuff out. But yeah, so that's the GNOME code. That's about like a third of the images that make her up. But My Little Pony, nice. That's funny. Let's see, and of course I love the potions girl from Rhapsody. That's such a cute character. Roxy, I believe. Okay, let's find our scythe really quick. Let's get our character done here. Ooh, there's the tieflings. I know whenever I mention tieflings, people will start prompting with them, and they're just super fun. My Little Pony code. Let's see here. I could dig through your all's villains and stuff all day. all day. But I gotta find. There we go. Okay, so we have his scythe here, and again, we could just keep re-rolling until we found something that really speaks to us, right? But for the sake of moving along, we're gonna do the first one here. And the reason I picked the first one, and I'll be sure to double back and check out what you guys are doing here. But for the sake of time, I'm definitely going to get started with the character turnaround here. But the let's see here. Come on, where is it? Where did it go? It's all the way at the bottom here. There's so many from you guys already. My God, awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so my instinct is to want to fix the hand right away, right? And we will want to clean that up, but it's not a huge concern because there is an element of like fidelity that we'll eventually run into where these sort of like inconsistencies don't matter too much. But generally speaking, we should just be able to zoom out even more to get us a full body of this character. If we just pan down, there's a good chance that we will we might get some distortion. So I'm going to show you guys both. First, if we just pan down and keep everything the same, then we should be able to get his legs and his hips, but we may not be able to keep him in proportion. In my experience, custom zoom does a better job of keeping character proportions. So we'll continue with this cyberpunk holding a scythe, but we will get a lot of empty negative white space around this character that it might try to fill in with stuff. For now, I'm actually trying to avoid that. I'm just going to try to complete the character as a full body, figure. So what we can do is we can scroll all the way to the bottom of this. We can find the zoom and switch the zoom to 1. Okay. And then switch the aspect ratio to, let's do like 2:3 just to get started. What this does is effectively just reframes the image as opposed to zooming out. This will let us be able to get a taller, like let it fill in the gaps of the just above and below the character a little bit, and hopefully get us a little bit more control over the proportions of this villain. Just to give us some idea of what results we're gonna get, and then we'll just hit submit with this. Because right now this image is a square aspect ratio, right? So a 2:3 is just a little taller than this. So we're basically just going to add a little bit of negative space on the top, and then his hips on the bottom here, with maybe some fingers and stuff. At that point, we can start in painting and cleaning things up. Just because I feel like that when you start to get into the little details, sometimes zooming out helps because it just means that there's less potential for randomness. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, we now have this is the pan down where the hands are actually all in proportion for the most part. This is pretty good. I like the second one quite a lot. So we'll up-res that one. And then let's see here. And look at the monster, dude. The tomato monster. I like it. Then we'll compare the custom zoom one as well. I know, right? Rhapsody said here inside of VC text, oh my God, what's going on today? So many things I love in VC Create. Everybody's doing a really great job. You're right. That's what I'm thinking too. Like there's a lot of really fun stuff. Like these ducks. I mean, come on. Like we really need to we need to remake Darkwing Duck like immediately. Like this is great. We could totally remake Darkwing Duck now with AI, 100%. But let's find the custom zoom here. Okay, so here's an interesting result that we got out of the custom zoom. It did add the negative space on the top, but it filled it in with stuff, right? So it looks like the pan is actually going to be the better route for this character, because we start to get buildings on the bottom right one here. 2 of them, it just made a secondary scythe, like it just continued the concept of the scythe. Scythe. Skype. He's the Skype villain. And then on the other one, just added a bunch of randomized gobbledygook, text, right? So it looks like the pan is the better option from what we got. So let's scroll down a little bit more, and now we have our pan. Okay. I like the hand here. We're going to go ahead and fix this other hand that's here. And I think we're going to just about have our villain. Okay. So, I'm honestly sad it hasn't been properly remade yet. They did so with DuckTales. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, they really do need to remake Darkwing Duck. It's such a good, fun, spin-off series. But let's go ahead and, this should be more than enough information to, whoa, what happened to my screen? Hold on a second. When it comes to this villain, we should have more than enough necessary to create a full sheet with this character. And there's a couple different ways that we can do that. But I first need to get back to the character. For some reason, it jumped on me really good. Wow, yeah, there's some amazing characters from you guys. Wow. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and first fix that hand. I'm not going to be like, give me better hand, you know what I mean, or anything like that. I don't worry about stuff like that. I just go ahead and highlight where it's wrong, right? Just do the quick box select and rerun the exact same prompt again. Because most of my information that it's actually gaining from it's not actually in the prompt or words itself. It's in the styles. It's in the character reference if you're running CRF, like that kind of stuff. You're going to be leaning a lot more on parameters as you get better at this, as you start to work more and more with image prompting. That's really where the true power of Midjourney is where you have you have the experience and knowledge with working with motion graphics or media in general. You're so much more powerful than the average Midjourney user, just because you understand that, like, you can heavily affect what results you get just by including an image inside of your prompt, as opposed to describing that image in heavily detail. There are benefits to running word-only prompts and doing variations on those, but for the sake of just getting us clean results, image prompting, it definitely benefits having some experience with manipulating images in Photoshop or whatever program you're using, GIMP or whatever. But let's see. Let's find our character again really quick. It's a lot of great stuff from you guys. Okay, there he is. So with this character, we can middle click it to basically open a tab of just that character. And this will get us a link that we can use either as a character reference or as an image prompt, because we don't need it as a style reference. We really just need to have this character as an image prompt, so that we can say, hey, okay, get us more angles of this character. And there's really two ways to do that today. We'll focus on the faster way later, just like because of it, to be honest, we're kind of cheating in the sense that we are kind of cutting a few steps up of my original tutorial by using character referencing. So we're going to actually lean on custom zooming in order to figure out how to create a full sheet of this character. So let's try that out really quick. We have plenty of negative space around the character here. So let's hit custom zoom. And remember, we have remix mode on, so we'll be able to edit the prompt. And what I've been doing before was I was just running the exact same prompt, the cyberpunk villain holding a cyber scythe. If we change that prompt now to say multiple poses, multiple expressions, okay, and then in my experience, you want to delete the style reference entirely, because we've already established the style. It's what's in the image. We don't need, it's almost redundant to include the style reference again. So we won't worry about that. And I'm actually going to also get rid of the high stylized, because when you increase the number on stylized what essentially happens is it'll make decisions for you that may not be necessarily what's written in your prompt in order to give you a more beautiful image or objectively beautiful image. We don't want objectively beautiful. We want what we asked for. Okay. So I'm deleting that entirely and leaving it as is. We'll get rid of the negative prompt as well, because maybe, you know, there's like a cool like green medallion on his back or something that we don't see. So I'm just going to get rid of the negative prompt as well. And then here's where we really, you know, kind of lock in that what we want. Not only is it what we change with the prompt itself, the multiple poses, multiple expressions, but we're also going to change the zoom to not be as dramatic. So not 2, we're going to change this to like 1.5. You can do anywhere between 1 and 2. And then I'm also going to flip the aspect ratio. So essentially right now we have a tall aspect ratio of 2:3. I'm going to swap this to 3:2. And that will get us now a wide sheet. Okay. Maybe closer to the idea of like a landscape, like rotated image, rotated page of wow, I cannot talk today. Sorry, guys. Rotated page, piece of paper kind of thing. So we're going to hit submit on this, and then we'll take a look at this remixed custom zoom. There's so many stuff for me, guys. I hate having to script through all of your stuff just to get to the bottom. I will be spending about 15 minutes each hour to kind of dig into the past and see everything that you guys have been doing. But we're going to first take a look at what we get off of just multiple poses, multiple expressions. Okay. And because the character is wearing a mask, we are not really getting a lot of expressions. There's definitely going to be a lot of repeating of the same image. As you can see that we have not exactly the best results. So let me zoom in here so you guys can see. We have some overproduction, like where it makes like these extremely high detailed, like he doesn't have the mask on, but he also doesn't have the right hair. It's very loosely inspired. Doesn't really seem like it's that good from our intent. But here's the cool thing is we could just hit reroll and we could try other things to kind of help encourage the results. We could add more words, right? Like full body turnaround, depicting multiple poses and multiple expressions. So we're just going to turn that into a full sentence. Okay. And then I'm also going to apply a style, but like I said, a very high style might be too objectively pretty. It'll most likely avoid doing multiple characters, that kind of thing. So why don't we try a very low stylized in order for it to just kind of give us what, you know, a more straightforward result. So I'm going to do 75 and then hit submit on there. You can go as low as 0 as you want with the stylized, but we're just going to see what we get off of that. And then start to build the first a pose sheet. So all the different angles of our character, preferably in like action poses, right? Because if we have a villain, most likely the villain's going to be doing things. If you just have like a boring office worker, right? You can not worry about that as much. You don't have to have as many dynamic actions or movements and stuff. And so we could see here that it did get us a little closer to our intent. We definitely have some zoom ins of the face, but it's very, they're very much like the original, like they're essentially deletes the mask and there's too much overproduction on, what is it on the rest of the character. So we're seeing that character diverge away immediately as we zoom. So why don't we try pushing this a little bit in a different direction? So we can, let's see here. Let's say instead of full body turnaround depicting multiple poses, multiple expressions, we can do full body turnaround, and then we'll do profile view, side view, backside, or you got to be worried about the word backside. Backside will sometimes kick in the filters, depending on the context of it. So let's just view let's just do back view instead of backside. And then for the, let's see, what is a fun way for me to demonstrate this? We could do a multi-prompt at this point as well. So I'm going to submit this as is, but if we do have trouble, we can add a : to separate these into two separate concepts and run it as a multi-prompt. But for now, let's just do this. And there's a couple other hacks that you guys have figured out to kind of force more similarities, because right now we're not getting a ton of them. Like we have some close-ups of the guy, sure, but it's him without a mask, and I would say that these expressions don't really match the character. We might need to describe the character more as a villain in our turnaround prompts, but I want to see what we get off of this one first. So let's see. Okay, yes, all right. So we made progress with this one. Full body turnaround, profile view, side view, back view. Okay. Now let's take a look. Okay, we have the back of the character now. That looks awesome. Top right gave us the back of the character. We also have one that's kind of right when it comes to the we already have a mostly profile view. So this left side we don't need, but we know that we have the back. So that's awesome. And there's a couple of kind of like blown out minimalist profiles. Those are mostly useless because unless you know how to do proper color correction, you're not really going to be utilizing that stuff much. We do have kind of a cool one where he has the scythe on his back, but we need to in-paint the face again, and there's a couple of inconsistencies we need to take into account. There's definitely some better ones that come out of this, but I would say that out of these, let's up-res the second one and the fourth one. And then someone's already doing it. Let's see who did it. But you want to re-roll this stage quite often because you don't really know if the result that you're going to get is it basically represents all the potential images. So you're only getting 4 results. And the way that I tend to prompt with this kind of ambiguous methodology of like trying to not use a ton of words, not overly descriptive, that means that the results you get tend to be extremely diverse. The more specific you get, the less diverse the results become, unless you force diversity with like parameters like chaos and things like that. We're not going to worry about doing anything wacky like that today. But for now, what I'm going to do is, since we do have 2 working angles of this character, I am going to open up a image manipulation program. You could use whatever program you like, GIMP, MS Paint, whatever you want. But I'm going to be using Photoshop Beta because it has some new snazzy tools for us to take advantage of. And we won't be worried too much about getting into any specifics, so you're welcome to use whatever program you want. We're really just trying to create a sheet that we'll be able to select parts of and utilize as needed to tell a story. So let's see here. Let's let that load up for a second. And then I will open up Photoshop here. Okay, cool. So inside of Photoshop, I'm going to hit first copy on our image here. Boop. I'll copy the image here, and then I'll hit File New. And we are going to paste our result that we liked, the one with the back here. I'm not going to worry about the image on the left, so I'm already going to get rid of it by marquee selecting everything except for, in fact, I can unhide myself here. Hi guys, hi. So if I go ahead and start marquee selecting what I want to keep, so like this part of the scythe here for sure, and then I'm just going to delete whatever I don't want, and we'll worry about cleaning up the small details later. But what this essentially does is it gives us the very first two images of our character sheet, and then we'll ask for expressions after this. So what I tend to do at this stage is I tend to just expand the canvas out pretty good, just to give me plenty of room to add things later. And then I hop back over to Discord here, so that we can start to in-paint out the things that we just removed inside of Photoshop, okay? So we can do vary region, and just to see if we can get another angle, because we know that this one's successful. We like this one in the middle because that's our original. Let's go ahead and select everything that we did in Photoshop, the same thing. We're going to select all the negative space here, and we are just going to rerun that prompt, okay? Full body turnaround, profile view, side view, back view. If we don't get any decent results off of this, we'll move on to expressions with this. I just think that this is enough for the first two. We want to get a couple more angles though. We can do action poses. We can do, whoa, what's going on here? Who's making select people? Nature's spirit animal in the spirit form, ghost alien bipedal black with a purple Felidae flying as a spirit with glowing side horns, floating white background. I like it. It kind of reminds me of the walkabout guy. Forgot what his name is, but the walkabout logo. Okay, let's see here, or emblem or whatever. I like these. I always like the municipal gnomes from Legal Beagle, of course. Okay, so let's take a look at these results that we got here. We got two of them that feature the masks still. They're just basically a subtle different angle with different details. The main result that we have kind of has the turquoise bunching up around the belt. I kind of like it without that. Like, I like how it's doing it on the left here. So let's go ahead and up-res that one and refine a couple details inside of our character's outfit here. Because if you notice, this one is actually more useful than it may look like right off the bat. Because one, we have the skull on his shoulder at a slightly different angle, and it still looks like a skull. So that's really, really useful for us. We want to make sure that the little details at this point, we replicate as close as possible. Because everything else that we do from this point onward is going to build on top of that. It's basically just going to make more and more and more replications or repeats of, it'll find the patterns inside of our imagery and try to exploit those patterns. So we could see that in terms of his shoulder and arm, it's like almost perfect. Like we have the turquoise sort of bunching over around the elbows. We have the skull on the shoulder. The hand is like almost perfect when it comes to like the way the bracer is laid out, where he has the metal on the back of his palm. Perfect. All that's good. But he's wearing these kind of like turquoise jumpers, like these let's go ahead and fix the pants. But at the same time, I do like what it did with the belt here. So let's go ahead and fix both at the same time. Okay. So I'm going to first highlight the kind of bunching that we're seeing on the top of the belt of the original design. So let's just go ahead and highlight that. And then I'm also going to highlight this kind of weird pant leg jumper bump thing, all the turquoise stuff around the legs. Okay. Whatever you don't select at this stage, right? It's going to look at that and go, okay. Where's the patterns? Where are the repeats? Where are the things that I can exploit from this image in order to give you an image or a result that you're going to like? Okay. So any amount of that turquoise that's popping out from his blue belly here, we want to avoid, because we don't want that showing up elsewhere. Same with these pants. We want to make sure that, because of just my opinion on character design, I don't like the idea of being able to see that his pants like that. So let's go ahead and just submit these and see what that does. If we want to add anything really specific, then we can write it into the prompt. Like if we really wanted him to have a certain color pants, certain colored, maybe he's wearing like full armor regalia, like metal armor underneath this robe. we can write just metal regalia, metal armor, knight's armor, as opposed to leaving the prompt as is. Because right now with full body turnaround, with side view, front view as the prompts, you're not providing any description of the character. You're basically saying, hey, this is my intent of the image, and you have to figure out the rest of it mid-journey. So let's take a look at what we got. And that's way better right off the bat in terms of matching the character designs more. There's a little bit of distortion that's happening where the character is a little squat in the original, but is kind of evening out with the rest of them. So we're basically kind of like we're ironing out the wrinkles with this one. Okay, so let's go for I like the second, third, and fourth, but I want to see. Let's go with just because I want clean patterns here. Let's go for the fourth one because there's like two different pant color legs here, but it's even on both sides. Okay, so that just makes it a little easier, a little more cleaner. I think this is good. I think this is really good actually, but we do need to fix the mouth because the mouth is broken on this side here. And we do have a little bit of like popped out hair when he has kind of a buzz cut in this original. These little details you want to kind of go nuts on because this is your chance to get it right. If you don't get it right at this stage, like if there's inconsistencies between your characters' poses, you're going to see those inconsistencies on every generation you do moving forward. So we're cutting out variables here, okay? Making your life easier later by trying to find those inconsistencies. Like, like when they show you two images, right? And they say, hey, spot the differences. And there's 6 differences between these two photos. That's essentially the name of the game when it comes to doing this stage. You're finding the inconsistencies and then going, okay, all right, let's now bring them all in. And so like even like the legs here, remember how I was like, okay, I like how even these 2 legs are here. Let's go ahead and try to get those legs to pop up on this other one here. The backside, that's what we want. We want a cape that kind of covers it up. So we're pretty happy with this. This won't take any work. And the shoulder is correct on that too. So this is great. Let's go ahead and submit this and see if we need to do any work towards like the backside, like his butt or whatever might be. It just depends on how it interprets that cape. So let's go ahead and submit this, and we can go from there. Hi, Fungi Mancer. Let me go ahead and say hey to everybody again here. Thank you guys so much for joining here today. I'm gonna pop open the stage here too, just so you guys can see. We got Felix, we got Gallifrey, we got Fungi Mancer, of course. I Troll for You, Legal Beagle. Let's see here. It's so good to see all you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And Mojam's here. Hi guys. It's always good to see you guys. And I'm I mentioned one of you in the chat already, but I just wanted to thank you again for telling me on YouTube, hey Victor, your spine is broken through like 45 minutes of this video. I appreciate you going out of your way to tell me that. I've been more aware of this VTuber model as of lately, because of you. Thank you so much. No, I love you guys. Thank you so much. But I'm excited to kind of get back to basics with you guys today. So for anyone who is new here, that may or may not know what we do here, we are running a character workshop. So if you guys got characters you're developing, feel free to post inside of VC Create, and we'll start messing with characters. We're already made some good progress on one of them. We're just going to get to the expressions and finalizing a sheet before we kind of get into what everything you guys have been doing here. There's a lot of fun gnomes, of course. But I mostly just want to take the time to say that if it wasn't for you guys, kind of kicking butt and making and experimenting and figuring out how to do this stuff, we would be behind. We would actually be pretty far behind from what we can do today. just because we have established like style references, character references that we really like, that we can like develop entire stories with now. Because Midjourney on its own will give you a whole bunch of random styles, a whole bunch of randomness that on its own is kind of like an untuned instrument, right? Like it's just going to give you noises. But if you actually tune Midjourney to a specific style, whether that be your own or maybe an image you really like, then you can suddenly feel not only ownership towards what you're making, but you can feel especially control over the images that you're making. So that's kind of what we're taking advantage of here. Is we start off with an established style, which is the GNOME code, which is giving us our super clean line art, right? And then we are building and adapting off of that from on top of that. So as you can see, we should just get right back into the character here, because I know that I'm going to distract myself more if I don't. But what we want to do is we want to see if there's anything else about the main character design here that we can adapt and improve. His pant leg is kind of like a purple color now. It's not really accurate. We can fix that in Photoshop if we wanted to. I'm gonna say let's go with the second one here, just because it gives us a little more definition for the legs, and we'll just kind of take it from there. Let's see. Okay, there's the result here. So we have a little bit of brown in the legs, a little bit of these. I think this just matches better. I think we'll get decent results off of this. We will need to fix this hand here, but overall, I'm pretty happy with this. But we need to fix that hair, man. Like that's the one thing we might just do that inside of Photoshop, because there is already a clean line for us to follow. So, let me just do it that way, just because I feel like we'll re-roll it a bunch if we don't. So let's go ahead, and I could upscale this if I want. It's not that important for this stage, but if you plan on, basically reusing this character a bunch, go ahead and upscale it, right? So you get the highest quality. But we're going to hop back over to Photoshop here,